Hello everyone. This is a brief video introducing the new Leon secondary grade processing screen. Secondary grading, as we all know, consists of a number of processes and calculations which must be run in the correct sequence. And this new screen is designed to make it much easier to do that. It will allow you to do what formerly required 12 different screens. The new screen is located on the Grade Reporting menu's Report Cards tab at the bottom of the third row of columns next to Print LCS Elementary Report Cards. It lists only Leon County processes and includes the cumulative GPA and ranking processes from the Perm Records menu. Since we're at the start of 15-16, the screen will initially come up set to the first 9 weeks, with the end of semester processes, averaging, post-to-grade history, cum GPAs, and rankings disabled. Changing to the second 9 weeks by clicking on that option button at the top will enable those processes. Returning to the first 9 weeks, let's start by running the first two processes, Add Grade Records and Gradebook Data Import. I'll click those checkboxes, then click the Process button in the lower left corner of the screen. The Add Grade Records label is highlighted in yellow. The results box showing a running total of records being updated is also highlighted. There's a message at the bottom adding new grade records for Leon High and a blue progress bar that shows where we are in the process, which is creating grading records for all courses that are currently active. I'll skip ahead to the end of this process. As soon as it's completed, the Gradebook Data Import process will begin, with its message and progress bar being displayed. Since I'm running in Add-Only mode, the message at the bottom says that only missing Genesis data will be replaced. Now let's say that instead of Add-Only, I really meant to run the import in Overwrite mode. To do this, I'll uncheck the Add Grade Records button so that only the Import button is checked, and select the Overwrite Existing Data option. This will display the caution message. I'll click Yes, then click the Process button, and the import process will start again. This time, the message at the bottom of the screen changes to say that the data will be overwritten. Notice that I didn't have to start over again at the beginning with the Add Grade Records process. Also notice that I didn't have to go back to the Setup menu to clear the last run date before rerunning the import. Now, even though I haven't finished grade processing, I'm going to try to print report cards. I'll check the Print Report Cards box and click Process. Notice that a message is sent informing me that I haven't run attendance, 9-week GPAs, or honor rolls. This is because the screen is checking for run dates for those processes. I'm going to clear all the checkboxes. One way to do this is to click the Select All Processes box at the top of the screen, which will check all of the boxes. Then click it again to clear all of the boxes. Now I'll run just attendance and 9-week GPAs by checking those and clicking Process. Currently, the attendance process doesn't return an updated record total, so it displays NA in the results box instead. Now I'll run honor rolls by unchecking the attendance and 9-week GPA boxes and checking honor rolls. Notice that when honor rolls is checked, this also enabled the grade level drop-down because all of the processes starting with honor rolls offer grade level selection. I'll keep the default of all. Honor rolls also offers its own sort option for the honor roll report. I'll select GPA. Click Process. The messages at the bottom start Right after the messages about writing to the Excel spreadsheet, the Honor Roll Report Viewer will open. Notice that the report says sorted by GPA and name in the upper right corner. I'll close the report viewer and also close the Excel workbook without saving. Notice that the line below the Honor Roll results and run date display the Honor Roll titles and their GPA ranges. I should also mention that currently, if you have selected other processes in addition to Honor Rolls, you will have to close the Honor Roll Report Viewer before those processes can start. This is also the case with the Report Card Viewer, but this will change with the next release of Genesis. Okay, now I'm going to talk about printing report cards. The process that creates the report card messages now runs automatically before every report card print, so the reminder message about running that has been eliminated. Also, the cover sheet is no longer printed, but the trailer sheet, which shows the total report cards printed, is always included. Please note that there are two report card options that are not on this screen. If you need to change the option to print withdrawn students, or you need to change the report card sort, you will have to go back to Setup and change those on the report card processing options screen. There are three special selection options when printing report cards. In addition to grade level, you can also print for a homeroom teacher or for one or more students. I'm going to clear the Honor Roll checkbox and check Print Report Cards. This enables the Select One or More Students checkbox and the Select a Homeroom Teacher checkbox. To print for the single homeroom teacher, I'll click that checkbox. This will open up the drop-down listing all of your teachers. I'll print for Kenneth Brown. You see the processing messages, then the report cards will display. Kenneth Brown is the homeroom teacher. Looking at the grade level for Kenneth Brown, you will notice that he has 11th grade, 12th grade, and 10th graders. I'm going to combine the grade level selection option with the homeroom teacher to show you how that works. I'll select 11 for the grade level and print again. This will print only the 11th graders who have Kenneth Brown as a homeroom teacher. So paging through the report cards, you'll see that they are all 11th graders, with a trailer sheet at the bottom. To demonstrate printing report cards for selected students, I've gone back to 14-15 in the fourth 9 weeks. The option to print for selected students will always print those students. Selecting a grade level doesn't have any effect. To print selected students, first I select the print report cards, then I check the select one or more students checkbox. This will display a screen that offers two ways to select students. You can look up students one at a time by typing the student ID into the grid, or you can click the name search to look up the student. I'll add one student using the name search. Since we're in 14-15, I have to select WD. Selecting both will also work. And then I'll just pick the first withdrawn student whose name begins with an A. However, there is a new option to select students from a list. To do this, click the Pick Students from List button in the lower left corner of the screen. This will display another screen that will list students alphabetically by name. There is also an option to select a grade level. The default is to display only active students, so since we're in 14-15, I'll select the WD option. I'll also limit the selection to 12th graders. Then click the Load Grid button to display those students. Now I'll select students by clicking the box next to their name. I'll select the first 3 students from this first screen, then scroll to the bottom and select the last 3 students. To return to the previous screen, I'll click the Return Students button in the lower right corner. I could also click Cancel to exit the screen without any selections, but I'll click Return Students. The 6 12th graders that I've selected appear in the grid. I'll click Quit here to return to the main screen. Now I'll click Process to print report cards for the selected students. Notice that I get a message that 9-week GPAs and honor rolls also need to be selected. This is because typically when printing for individual students, we are reprinting following grade changes. While the student grade screen will recalculate averages and cumulative GPAs, it doesn't have a button to recalculate the 9-week GPAs or the honor rolls. So these must always be rerun prior to reprinting individual report cards. I'll close this message box now, check the 9-week GPAs and honor roll boxes, then click Process again. This will run the Calculate 9-week GPAs. It runs pretty fast even though it's running for the whole school. Then it will also run the honor rolls again. I have to wait for the viewer to open so that I can close it, so that now the processing messages can run. Again, it runs for the whole school, but it runs pretty quickly. And then the report cards for the selected students appear. The 6 report cards for the 6 12th graders. Now let's say that I've selected a lot of students to reprint, and I realize that I really needed to have them sorted alphabetically. No worries, I won't have to lose my selected students. I'll just close this report card viewer, and I'll leave the screen set up. I'll return to the grading menu and go back to Setup. Then I'll go to the report card processing cycle screen. And in the lower right corner where the report card sort options are, I'll change homeroom to alpha. Then I'll click Save, return to the secondary grade processing screen, and click Process again. This will rerun the GPAs, honor roll, and messages, but this time the report cards will be sorted alphabetically. In other words, once you have the students selected, they will stay selected as long as the screen stays up and the Select One or More Students checkbox is checked. The end-of-year processes are run the same as the other processes. The only difference for the posted grade history is that now it automatically sets the repeat flags. Selecting, let me unselect print report cards, okay, and honor rolls and GPAs, okay. Selecting ranking will also automatically select the cum GPAs to be recalculated. It will also automatically omit ESE diplomas and early withdrawals so that those students no longer have to be manually excluded. This screenshot shows the completion times for averaging, posted grade history, cum GPAs, and rankings. As you can see, averaging completed at 12:14 p.m. The post concluded 1 minute later at 12:15, and the GPA calculation and ranking completed right after that at 12:16. The GPA calculation runs for all students, both active and withdrawn, that have courses on the transcript. In this case, it calculated cumulative GPAs, unweighted and weighted, plus annual GPAs for 14-15, unweighted and weighted, and since we're in the last 9 weeks, second semester GPAs for students that had courses in the second semester, for a total of 2,023 students. Notice that the rankings total is 1,890 students because it omits the ESE and early withdrawal students. That concludes this video. Thanks for watching.